This is actually my first time going live on my Facebook. My YouTube. And I'm just testing it out, man. We're just gonna be vibing, just talking, just chatting. I've got this fancy microphone right here. We're just chopping it up, man. This is just some new year, new energy, new life, new phase of where we're at, discussions, conversations, just to see where everybody's head is, just to see where everybody's going, what everybody wants to do, where everybody wants to be. And as mentioned in the actual title of the video, I got a confession. In 2024, I have a New Year's confession, which is going to cover actually a multitude of things, because the confession isn't necessarily just about one thing per se. It's not just a confession about one thing per se, but a multitude. A multitude. I really don't have a game plan. I really don't have a layout. I really don't have a format for how this live is going to go. I'm just going with the flow. So first and foremost, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone who's going to see this, who's watching. I hope you enjoyed your new year. I hope 2023 was what you wanted it to be. I hope that it was a learning experience for you, because I think one of the worst things we can do is go through days, months, years, and not learn a thing, right? This morning I put a post up on my Instagram. Add me at Nate Jameson Speaks, by the way, on Instagram if you don't have me already. But I put a post up and I was like, we cannot escape pain. This human experience, there is no way on God's green earth that moving through this human experience, we are going to escape pain. There's no way. That pain is constantly chasing us down. That there is always going to be painful experiences. That no matter how fast we try to run, the fact is pain will catch up. And that when it seems that things are going good, that, okay, things are turning around for me. I'm having a blast. I'm making a difference. Things are coming around professionally, personally, that pain seems to creep in. And 2023 for me, it was a really, really, really reflective year. I think I learned quite a bit. I went through a tremendous amount of pain, a tremendous amount of suffering, a tremendous amount of loneliness. But I also went through a tremendous amount of triumph. I also went through a tremendous amount of progress. I also went through a tremendous amount of professional success. And I think that brings me to my next point, people, is that the duality that we experience in life, that in one breath we can go through very, very, very painful experiences. We can cry, we can feel lonely, we can be embarrassed, but at the same exact time, we can be experiencing triumph, we can be experiencing breakthrough, we can be experiencing elevation, we can be experiencing promotion. That has always fascinated me. Honestly, it's always fascinated me. This human experience. And so the idea of pain and what we get from pain, how we go through pain, because none of us, no matter how much money you have, no matter what your experiences are, where you come from, what your family looks like, there's no one on this earth who is going to get away from experiencing pain. Be it death, heartbreak, separation, anxiety, divorce, whatever it is, there is no way you can escape pain. And in fact, the higher you want to go in life, the more success you want to have, the more pain you're asking for. I guarantee if you lined up 10, 15, 20 successful people right now, and you ask them, how did you get to where you're at? I guarantee you the majority of those people, 80 to 90% of them will say I had to experience a tremendous amount of resistance, a tremendous amount of pain, a tremendous amount of suffering, a tremendous amount of sacrifice to get to where they wanted to be. So we move through life constantly striving, trying to get to success and triumph, masterpiece, fulfillment. But at the same time, we're moving closer to pain and suffering and agony and sacrifice and uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable feelings. Because this is, in fact, the human experience. See, we have more in common than you people would believe. See, social status may separate us based on how much money we make, where we live at, demographics, but the human experience is where our commonality comes in. This is why in New York, you can get on a train and you can be sitting next to doctors, lawyers, physicians, business owners, investors, veterinarians, trashmen, or whatever the politically correct term for it is, McDonald's workers. And though it may appear that this person is blessed and happy and fulfilled, and oh my gosh, you got it all going for you, you making money, that in fact, that they will experience death just like you. That in fact, they will experience relationship issues just like you. That in fact, they will experience missing a bill from time to time just like you. So 2023, I think about it, lost my grandmother. Which I know was difficult for my family. My grandmother had been sick. And though she was sick, I do not believe that we saw the actual death coming. For me personally, I think about some of the happiest or some of the most successful times professionally that I experienced in 2023. And if I could be truthful, those were probably some of my most loneliest times. Those were probably some of my times where I wasn't necessarily the most fulfilled or happiest. Not to say that you can't obtain both of them at the same time. Success and happiness and elevation and prosperity and finances. Not to say that you can't have those things at the same time. But just reflecting on what 2023 kind of looked like for me, those things weren't necessarily at the same time. They just weren't. So, for the people who are on my live, I'm on Facebook right now, I'm live streaming on my YouTube channel. I wonder what your 2023 was like. For anyone who's on my Facebook right now, actually, who's watching, can you guys just give me some words to kind of describe your 2023, what it looked like, what it made you feel, what you learned? Because we make this transformation, this whole jump from year to year, like such a great thing where we're like leaving a bunch of stuff behind, we're making a bunch of new decisions. Everybody wants to get a gym membership. I went into the gym yesterday morning, it was empty. I'm like, everyone all of a sudden is like, okay, that when this new year comes, it's going to be a new me. That's like the cliche thing to say, new year, new me. Girls love to say it. New year, new me, y'all. Okay. And so there's something like psychological that happens because, and that goes to show you how powerful the human mind is. If in fact, the switching from, between a few hours, when a countdown is begin, when it's 10 o'clock, moving to 11, 11 o'clock, moving to 12 a.m., and we're transitioning into the new year, just how powerful the human mind is, in fact. How, because I know that it's about to be a new year, I can begin making decisions, declarations, and commitments It's something psychological about that. See, I believe human beings are the only creatures on earth who can literally talk themselves into anything and talk themselves out of anything, meaning we can justify any decision that we make. We can literally justify any decision that we make. Be it good or bad, we can justify it. We'll come up with reasons of why we're doing what we're doing. One thing humans are going to do, we're going to come up with ways to rationalize why we're doing what we're doing. Okay, Danae said 2023 was full of learning experiences to show me how life can be so beautiful yet uncomfortable. 2023 was full of learning experiences to show me how life can be so beautiful yet uncomfortable as you grow into a better version of yourself. See, me and Danae, how you doing, Sister Sharon? I see she commented hi. See, me and Danae, we talk. We sit down, we have a relationship. She's a sister to me. I'm a brother to her. We look out for each other. We encourage each other. So I believe I know on a personal level some of the things that she may be referring to. But one thing I do know about Danae, as she mentioned in her comment, being uncomfortable, one thing I do know about her is that she's willing to put herself in uncomfortable situations to get a better result. She's willing to challenge herself. She's willing to say, you know what, these are goals that I want to set. These are things that I want to do because I want to reach the next level. She's always searching for a way, an avenue to become better, to become greater. And I kind of think that's like where we've always met because not only did we have a spiritual relationship from our church background, but we met on a professional level because we both love to challenge ourselves on how we can be better. So Danae said, it was full of learning experiences to show how life can be so beautiful yet uncomfortable as you grow into a better version of yourself, which I think is extremely key. And see, a better version does not mean a perfect version. I'm going to say that again. A better version does not mean a perfect version. See, me and Danae, personally, we have conversations about this as well. That there are going to be mistakes that we make along this life journey. There are going to be mistakes again and again and again and again that we make along this life journey. But we are constantly striving to be better. See, if you are seeking perfection, and I used to do this, the only way I can talk about this is because I've experienced this. When you hold yourself to a high standard and you try to be as disciplined as you can be, there's a thin line that can creep in, and it can almost become where you believe that you have to be perfect, where everything has to be right. That ain't realistic. That's just not realistic, and that's not life. And so what I would warn those people who are making all of these commitments and declarations and listen, I'm for it. I'm all here for it. I'm all about people elevating and becoming better, becoming greater versions of themselves. I'm here for it. But I just want to warn you and say that better version that you're striving for is not a perfect version. And so along the way, when you start these declarations, when you start your year off and you're saying, this is a goal I want to set, this is something I want to obtain, I want to be in a better relationship, I want to grow my business, I want to get that promotion at the job, I want to be a better wife, I want to be a better husband, I want to improve my health, I want to lose weight, I want to build muscle. Whatever your goal is, always remember that better version does not mean perfect version. And while you're on this course of life, moving in the direction of your dreams and of your goals, you're going to slip up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to cut your knee. You're going to fall. You're going to spend the wrong money. You're going to spend more money than you need to. There's going to be some losses. There are going to be people who walk out on you. And that is okay. It hurts. And that takes me back to my first point when I talked about the pain, the painful human experience that we can't escape it. As long as you are breathing, it's going to be painful. We can't escape it. There are many things that are out of our control. And see, I think that's the controlling piece is another way people set goals, so they can kind of be in control of their life, so that when their goals are achieved, they often have control over whatever the goal is. It makes them feel better about themselves. So for a lot of us, we're setting a lot of goals. We have these lofty, huge, big dreams, big ideas, things that we want to obtain moving into this new year. We have all these moving into this new year. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. Just understand that you are going to fall on the way. You may miss a gym day. You may not eat healthy one week. You may make some mistakes. It's okay. People embark on Bible reading journeys and they think they have to read a whole bunch of scripture every single day. Small wins. I just saw Sister Tay. She just put life's a journey, enjoy the highs and the lows, and don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Don't forget to celebrate the small wins. I always tell people setting goals gives you direction, achieving them gives you confidence. I think for me personally, I have to learn how to celebrate my small wins even more. As people who consider themselves high achievers or people who consider themselves motivated or extremely disciplined, I'd say I'm more disciplined than motivated. A therapist once told me, she said, Nate, life is about discipline, not motivation. There's no way we are going to be motivated all day, every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's cap. Anybody who says that, you a robot. Because you don't have emotions, you don't have feelings, you a robot. And I think I have to do better with that in 2024. I said this is a confession. I need to be better with saying, bro, you did good. Bro, you did achieve that. Bro, take a seat. Bro, hang out with your guys. Hit the range. Give yourself the reassurance, the affirmations, the pat on the back that, bro, you're doing good. You're moving in the right direction. May your year of 2024 be filled with more self-discipline, self-love, and prosperity in all aspects. I receive it. I believe it. I think mine is already off to a pretty good start. This is only the second day, obviously, but I think mine is off to a good start. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And give other people grace too. Give other people grace too. I know you got to give yourself grace, but give other people grace too. From working with a lot of people and the youth in particular, I work with adults as well, but youth as in particular, I learned that I have to be patient and graceful with them because they're trying to figure this thing out just like me. They just happen to be 15, 17, 10 years younger than I am. But some of us, we be tripping, man. And I used to do this. I used to cut a lot of people off quick. And I'm trying to be better with that. I really am. I'm trying to be better with that, seriously. Because it's like somebody extended grace to you. Of course, God gives you grace every single day. You wouldn't be walking around talking to people blessed with what you have. And now you sitting up here, you just quick to cut everybody off. Everybody that offends you. Everybody that offends you. Everybody that offends you, you quick to cut them off and then talk bad about them. Move with kindness and grace always. The world needs more of that. And we got to take accountability, people. I'm going to say it. We got to take accountability. Some of us suck at taking accountability because we've never had people, watch this, around us who held us accountable, who taught us about accountability. They just pumped our heads up. They told us we was all that. They told us it's always someone else's fault. We got to hold ourselves accountable. Let that be one of your declarations too. Looking yourself in the mirror and saying, bro, and saying, sis, I ain't where I need to be. I can do better. I can make better decisions. I can extend more grace. I did screw up. I can apologize to my boyfriend. I can apologize to my girlfriend. I can apologize to my spouse. I can apologize to my mother. I can apologize to my sister. That's maturity. When you are always being offended, And that's the same storyline that you tell people. He did this to me, she did this to me, he did this to me, she did this to me, my mama did this to me, my daddy did this to me, my girlfriend, my wife, my brother, my cousin, my coworker, my boss, my business partner, he did this to me. In my mind, I just shake my head and look at those people. Because there's no way that we can truly grow if you don't look at yourself and take accountability for your part, for your contribution to mess, to issues, to drama, to problems, to things that happen. One of the worst, in my experience, some of the worst type of people to be around are people who don't take accountability. Especially when they don't know that they're doing it, that's when it just becomes sad. And you really feel bad for the person. But see, accountability gives you ownership. Accountability is also a sign of maturity. Taylor said, if you really listen to Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, it's really such a powerful song. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. That's it. Can y'all just comment or just put a heart or put a like or put a thumbs up or put an emoji or put something if you've ever been around people who do not take accountability? Like absolutely will not. Like they just won't. Like you've tried to have 1,000 conversations with them. You've tried to convince them. You've given them PowerPoint presentations. You've sent them YouTube videos. You've sent them scriptures. You've sent them sermons. You've sent them personal development books. You've sent them TV shows. Just give me some feedback. Let me know what that experience is like and how have y'all maybe dealt with those people? How? Or have you been that person? Have you been that person before? Have you been that individual who just won't take accountability? You just won't for some reason. You just can't. You got too much pride. Your ego just won't let you. Because I want to learn how to better deal with individuals in that way. I want to learn to become more patient. And I want to learn how I myself, as a leader, as a man, how can I take more accountability? How can I make sure I'm displaying those things? How do you deal with that? How do we do that? And how do we dwell with people like that? What if you're in business with someone like that? What if you live with someone like that? I want to know. We are in 2024. 2024. I think it's just fascinating. As I mentioned earlier, for anyone who was on here with me, I'm live on YouTube right now and I'm live on my Instagram or on my Facebook. I think it is fascinating how the change of a year and the change of time and the emotion we have tied to it will make people begin to make all these declarations, all these commitments, want to make all these changes, want to become someone new, want to do things differently. And I just wonder what the psychological element is behind that. How is it that we can go 360, 64, whatever, how many days, doing and being otherwise, but when we count down to that end of the year, when those hours and minutes and days are ticking down and we getting closer to our new year, how is it that something clicks and it's like, okay, let me do something different. Okay, let me start to set these goals. And how many of those individuals are actually sticking with it? Because discipline is really the underlying theme of all of this. Discipline. Discipline. I think I titled this stream New Year Confession. And for those who know me, for those who don't know me, I think part of what helped me grow a lot professionally, financially, um, and in my career and my business was discipline. Doing things that I didn't want to do, but I knew I needed to do them. Eating the kind of foods that I didn't really want to eat, but eating them. Am I perfect with it? No. But it's knowing I have to get this thing done for the greater good, for my bigger cause, for what I want to achieve. And so I'm going to make the intentional conscious effort now because I want to reap the reward in the future. I have to sow this seed at this very moment. I have to get up off my butt and send these emails. I have to get up off my butt and go to the gym. I have to get up off my butt and read this new book. I have to get up off my butt and go run a mile. I have to get up off my butt and do something which is a part of learning discipline. Because your human nature is going to tell you every day, man, don't get out the bed yet. You can sleep a few more minutes. You can eat that pancake. You can eat those chips. You can eat that Snickers. You don't need to work out today. You don't need to go to the gym today. You don't need to work on your business. You don't need to send out those emails. You don't need to do it. You can take a day off. You can take 2 days off. Just relax. You don't need to work that hard. It'll all come to you. But it's in those very moments, people, and I know this, I'm not going to talk about this just to make something up. It's in those exact moments that begin to set you apart. If you do those things over and over and over and over, there's a quote. There's a quote that says, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you're going to get a cut. See, if you do the same thing over and over and over and over again, even through those feelings of not wanting to, even through those times of doubt, where you have people in your ear telling you, man, the business ain't worth it, just give up. Come on, man, take this trip with us. You don't need to invest in your business. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to eat healthy. You don't need to start that company. You don't need to put in those extra hours. You don't have to make those calls. Don't send the emails. You don't have to. If you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get your cut. If you continue doing what you're doing and building and pressing and pressing and working, I'm a living testament, I'm a living witness. The results will become tangible. The results will become tangible. See, it's doing those things, and here's the deal. People often say, and I know this is true, people will say, you reap what you sow. A biblical principle that we hear, meaning I get out what I put in. I need y'all to hear this. I need y'all to hear this. So people will tell a lot of people, you get out what you put in. It's a biblical principle. You reap what you sow. I do agree with that. But what do you do in those times where you're not reaping what you're sowing? What do you do in those times where you're putting in the work but you're not seeing any results? What are you doing when you're going to the gym 3 times a week, you're eating healthy, but you're a bit discouraged because you didn't lose your goal weight for that week or for that month? What do you do when you've sent out 100 emails? I can raise my hand and talk about it because I've been there. When you sent out 100 plus emails, you've went to 5 different schools, but no one calls you back. No one emails you back. What do you do in those moments? Do you turn back? Do you give up? Because I'm sowing, but I'm not reaping. But but scripturally, people tell me you reap what you sow. You get back what you put in. But in those moments, what do? Do you stop? Do you throw your hands up? Do you wave the flag and say, you know what? I give in, I give up. Or do you keep your hand to the plow? Or do you stay out there working? Because in those moments, what I'm trying to tell you, in those moments, that's what makes the difference. Can I still stay the course? Can I still do the same thing over and over and over again, even when I don't feel or see any progress? I've seen it. I'm not just talking about stuff that I haven't experienced, that I haven't felt, that I haven't I've lost sleep and sacrificed a lot. What will you do? Will you hang around a barbershop long enough until you get your cut? In those moments where you've sown and you've sown and you say, I'm just not reaping, but I'm sowing, 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 but I'm just not reaping. In those moments, what will you do? Will you continue to sow? Or will you pack up all your equipment, go into your room, shut the door, and say, I give up? Nothing's happening. See, when I started this live stream, I started out showing love and congratulating and just, highlighting those people who I know have set a ton of goals, who said, you know what, this new year, things are going to be different. People do it across the world. There's something psychological about the new year, so then people begin to set their New Year's resolutions, they set their goals, they say things are going to be different. But I also wanted to bring to their attention that, okay, you've set a lot of these lofty goals and there's nothing wrong with that. But what do we do in those moments where we slip up? Because there are going to be those moments where sometimes you just don't feel like working, where sometimes you eat your McDonald's and you said you were going to meal prep the whole week and cut your calories, but you slipped up. You said you weren't going to drink alcohol anymore, but you went out, you got a night with your girls, you got drunk. Because the slip-ups, the moments of feeling tired, fatigued, the inferiority, those things are going to creep in. Anyone who tells you that they're not are lying. Because it's a part of the human experience. Can you continue to sow even when you're not reaping? Because you're going to get it eventually. But until eventually becomes now, can you continue to sow and sow and sow? See, that's really where people fall off. I know multiple people who have asked me, Nate Jameson, who I've met with personally, who I know personally, I want to get into public speaking, motivational speaking, workshops, consulting, working with schools, working with organizations. Say, okay, are you willing to volunteer for the first 3 or 4 years like I did? Are you willing to invest your own money to buy your own equipment, your own shirts, your own gear, your own materials for workshops, even when you're not getting paid? Can you start off with just speaking to 2 kids like you would speak to a group of 500? Will you bring that same energy, professionalism, planning, love, energy, ambition, feeling? Would you bring that same, fervent prayer and love and commitment to a group of 2 or 3 that you would to a group of 50, to a group of 100? So we're going to see. We're going to see as the year goes on. This is only, what's today, the 2nd? Yeah, today's the 2nd. We're going to see as the year goes on how things pan out. Who's locked in, who's not. We're going to see. Everybody got a new business idea. I ain't hating on nobody. Listen, listen. I commend people. Everybody got a business idea. Everybody got a nonprofit. Everybody's, it's some goal, it's some idea, it's something. Brother George, I appreciate you coming on, man. I can't give you my locale right now, baby. I'll shoot you a text after. I'll give you a call after, but we'll see. We'll see. We are going to see. I'm excited for 2024, for 2024. Yeah, man. It's something new, man. Every day. Me and George, who's on my YouTube live stream. I'm live on my YouTube and on my Facebook right now. He's on the YouTube stream. It's something new every day, and it can be a bit overwhelming. Me and my bro, we talk about this. Sometimes it is just straight up overwhelming, y'all. It's a new idea, it's a new business, it's a new ministry, it's a new church, it's a new project, it's a new nonprofit, it's a new consulting company. It's something new every single day. Here's my fear for some people is that the pressures of social media and of always having a new idea, stretching them too thin and having them all over the place. I remember Tyler Perry talked about this. He talked about early on when he had his plays and everything that he was trying to get off the ground. And he said, if you spread your metaphorical seed, right, in too many different places, you won't have enough water to water one, essentially, right? Because you're just all over the place. And we all know people like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dreaming and having goals. I'm that guy who started my professional career off telling people to dream big and to have goals and to do that. And I'm driving around in a 93 Chevy Lumina. It was a gift from my grandmother. God bless her heart. It was for my cousin, but he passed away. She gave it to me. But I'm saying I didn't really have anything. I haven't acquired anything at that point. I was just a young guy. Car didn't have AC. I was tatted up, young, skinny black kid from the inner city, Columbus, Ohio. So it's always something new. Do any of you know people like that? Where it's just like one day I'm a firefighter, one day I'm an actor, one day I'm a business owner, one day I'm a consultant, one day I'm a pastor, one day I'm a youth communicator, one day I'm a veterinarian. And there's nothing wrong with those dreams and those goals, but people, I submit that eventually we gotta lock in and just kind of figure out what it is that we want to do, what we're gifted at, and roll with that. That's all I'm saying. I don't even know how we get started talking on that point, George. Yeah, just going to the next because they aren't sure who they are. Right. That has a lot to do with it, bro. That has a lot to do with it. Yep. 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 And I thank God that early on in my life, I found out who I wanted to be. I was an athlete for a long time, played competitively with some of the best players. Doug Ritchie, who was on here, I don't know if he's still on my live stream on Facebook. He was one of the top players in Central Ohio at the time. Played against him, watched him play. Extremely athletic, extremely competitive. But I wanted to be an NBA basketball player. In fact, I had a basketball tattooed on my arm with my initials in it, the NBA logo, and it said Spalding. Don't laugh at me. Ball is life. Ball was life. And that's what I thought I wanted to be. That's what I was exposed to. My mother and father put a lot of money into it for me to travel around and to play against different people across the country with AAU, school ball. But a teacher ended up changing my life. And I'll tell this story until the day that I die. And I'm going to close with this. It was 2013. Her name is Marseille Waddell. I was at Eastmore Academy, which I had transferred into after I left Northland High School for my first 2 years of high school. So I was a junior at Eastmore Academy. And I took a class which was PowerPoint, Microsoft Word. We were learning about computer technology, different softwares on a computer. We had to do presentations to do in the class, which was a part of our grades. And one day I walked into the classroom, and I was goofy in high school. I won best personality, by the way. Wink, wink. I walked into the classroom, and I was clowning. Laughing, probably flirting with some girl, just being goofy, being a goofy kid. And she stopped me and she said, "Young man, do you understand that you have a presence about you?" She said, "When you walk into a room, you demand attention. When you're in front of people, you have a presence. You do realize that, don't you?" And at the time, I'm like, this lady sounds crazy. I'm thinking she's out of her mind. I'm like, I'm going to the league. That's what I do know. I'm going to play professional basketball. That's what I do know. And I remember she put me into the running to be one of our speakers at our senior breakfast that we were doing for those graduating seniors. and the rest was history. And so since that point, I've been locked in on what I've been doing. Public speaking, inspirational speaking, workshops. But watch this, even when I was sowing and I wasn't reaping, I still kept sowing. So my encouraging message to wrap everything up is to keep sowing. What's that scripture? It says, do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. Just keep going. Me and my brother George, who's on my YouTube live stream right now, I believe we talk about this quite a bit. He's very consistent in his ministry. And consistency will open doors, people. See, I believe that you reap much more than you sow. I do believe you get out what you put in, but I do believe God does a little extra. That's been my experience. But there are moments in time, I need y'all to hear this, when you're sowing and you're not going to reap. There's been times where I've done things professionally for completely free. I didn't get nothing out of it. But the opportunity, the exposure, the experience, the connections made would down the road lead to business partnerships and business opportunities in an overall relationship that was healthy and beneficial for myself and the other party or parties. Can you sow when you don't reap? Can you hang around a barbershop even when you're not getting cut? Will you keep going? Since the 2013 message was spoken over me, which was actually a prophetic word, I've done nothing but spoke workshops, community events, speaking engagements, workshops, community events, speaking engagements, workshops, community events, speaking engagements, workshops, community events. That's not a brag, but it's a lesson that I'm hoping somebody can learn from. I'm not saying that I have it all together, that I'm some millionaire and I'm loaded and I'm where I want to be. But I know that if you sow, even when you don't reap, you will be rewarded. So some of y'all have these dreams, these goals, these ideas moving into 2024. We're going to see how many of y'all keep sowing even when you're not reaping. Thank you, Danae, for putting Galatians 6:9 on there too. Be not weary. Don't be weary. And see, that scripture wouldn't even have been in there if he didn't know that we were going to grow weary. So there's going to be times where you don't want to do nothing, where you don't want to work, where you don't want to invest in your business, you don't want to work on a ministry, you don't want to do your Bible study, you don't want to work on yourself, you don't want to go to the gym. There will be those times. Anyone telling you otherwise is a liar, and I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. I rebuke them and those words in the name of Jesus. So 2024, we are here. This was my confession for the new year. I talked about some things personally that I experienced last year. Losing grandma, being at the height of my professional career, making the most money I've ever made, but also being the most loneliest I've ever been. Experiencing some of the most pain I've ever experienced in my life. It's the duality of this human experience that I find so fascinating. It's the fact that just by the year changing, by the time ticking down, the hours changing, we can commit ourselves to goals, to projects, to starting businesses, because we've psychologically told ourselves that we can do so. Listen, I appreciate everyone who's came on here today. Best believe this is not the last time that I will be going live. I'm going to be having some guests come on and just really dialogue with you all. I used to post quite a bit to my YouTube channel. I didn't really come in here today with, I talked to my mom on the way here. I didn't really come in here with a plan, a layout, a format. I just wanted to just chop it up with y'all, just talk, be as authentic and free as I can moving forward. Things will obviously be a bit more structured, more clean, more professional, but this was just a chance for me to connect with you guys, to go live, and to get back in touch with my followers. I used to do quite a bit of videos on YouTube. I was very, very committed, covering topics that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily want to talk about because it made them uncomfortable. But we back, baby. We back. We back. We back. I would love to have some people come in here and chop it up with me. So if you're interested, please, if you have my number, you can shoot me a text, you can call me. If you are not in the state or you don't have my information, just DM me or email me. My business email, company email is info@ Jameson Consulting Group LLC.com. My Instagram is Nate Jameson Speaks. My Twitter is Speak Nate Speak. My Facebook is Nate Jameson. My YouTube channel is Nate Jameson Speaks, which you all can subscribe on and see a lot of what I do professionally. There's some ministry stuff on there. I do some work in the community, and I do my best to be a faithful servant in the house of God. So add me, support me, follow, like, share. TikTok, I'm on there too. I think I may be Nate Jameson Speaks on TikTok. I don't post on TikToks though, but I might. I might get on there and bust a move. Y'all don't never know. So y'all think I can't come out this suit and do a little something. Yeah, I had a business meeting earlier, but I can come out this suit. I can dance a little bit, y'all. I can do a little something. So listen, support. Like I said, if you're interested in coming on here or chopping it up with me, or having just a dialogue, I'm going to touch a bevy of issues, of ideas, of topics, sports related, social, political, religious, professional. I want to get more business professionals on here. I want to share a lot of things professionally that I've learned, that I'm learning, that I'm growing and excelling in so that I can help others as well, and get different points of view. If you disagree with Nate, of course, we can talk, we can debate, we can have a healthy conversation, but we're going to keep it professional, we're going to keep it clean, and ultimately this channel, my platforms are just to help people, to motivate and inspire people to become better, as I believe it was Taylor or it was Danae mentioned earlier on Facebook, to just become better. Because remember, that better version doesn't mean a perfect version. We'll never be perfect. We'll never be flawless. We'll always make mistakes. It's in our nature. So listen, I appreciate you guys. I'm running over my time a bit here. Connect with your boy. I love y'all. God bless you all, and have a blessed Tuesday. See ya.